The festive seasons are approaching, and I'm sure you'll be wanting to make some meat pies, as we call it in Ghana or Nigeria, or these are technically stuffed or turnovers, yes. And you want it to be flaky, you want it to look good, you want it to be crowd pleasing. This is the recipe for you. So we're going to look at all the things that can go wrong and how to correct them. So to make your meat pie, basically you need flour. I'm going to use turmeric in here with some curry powder to add taste to the flour base. This is very much important. There's two ways. You can add salt to the flour base or you can use salted butter. So I'm using more of butter that has salt. And this one, you can use margarine, you can use butter, anything. But I like to do this mixture. What I do is I have more margarine, I add some butter, and I add salted butter as well. And even with the margarine, I use it in two different forms. I have the very soft, those which are a bit more kind of firmer. That improves the texture of your pie because for your pie to be flaky, that means that the fat should be more. So the margarine or butter or ghee you're using, it has to be more. If it's less, it's not going to be that flaky in there because you're not going to use so much water in here. And you're mixing it, you're not going to knead it. You just want to bring it together and fit on. So don't try making it as if you are doing bread. Now I'm going to mold this into a ball and I'm going to use water to join it together. Sometimes people use milk or any preference you want to use, but water is good. And for water, my dad, I learned this trick from my dad. You usually use cold water. Very cold water helps the fats come together. So it gives you good texture with the pie crust you are forming or the base you're actually forming, which is super awesome in there as well. So I'm just going to be adding this water in bits and then I'm going to form this into a ball. Now you don't want to use too much water. If you use too much water, it's going to be very, very soft and then you end up kneading or forming gluten in there, which you don't want to do that. So you just add the water in bits, which is very, very necessary. Then you just be binding it together. So this is the main base of the crust. And if you can get this right, you're actually done. So like I said, all you need is your flour. You can add in the turmeric, gives it good color. So you realize the color is good. You don't need to add any food color. Just get your turmeric, and turmeric is very healthy. Then for the rest, I'm going to mix it in the bowl as well. So if you don't want to mix it on your surface, you can mix it in the bowl. Just that the surface kind of gives you more space and your rest or your arms kind of rest more than if you're doing it in a bowl. So I'm just mixing it all together in the bowl. But like I said, don't knead it. You're not making bread. So you don't need to stretch the dough. All you're trying to do is to bring it together with the cold water. So once you're done, you just form it into a ball. This also kind of helps you when you are picking it up. So I just making it into a bowl to give it portions. And we're going to let this rest at least 30 minutes. Once your base or the crust of the dough is resting well, you're also going to get good results. As it's resting, I'm going to go in to do my filling. So I'm putting in oil, coconut oil. Then I have chopped potatoes. So the potatoes, I'm adding in a bit of salt to it as well to season it up and to give it good taste. Now I didn't shred this. I diced this to make it more crunchy. And I've also added in water and I'm covering it up for it to just steam up a little bit. The whole idea of using chopped vegetables or diced vegetable is to give it crunch. When you open your pie, you want to see things, you want to taste things, you want to have texture in there. So you can also go in for more crunchy vegetables. So I used potatoes, I used carrots, then I added in some green peas and some sweet corn as well as paprika, which is also chopped in. That gives it color, that gives it texture, that gives it flavor as well. And the potatoes is also heavy, so that makes it full or filling as well. Then I covered it with the parchment sheets to be able to retain the heat because you realize I had lowered the heat so much. Now, once it is done cooking, then you add in your onion. Don't add your onion from the start because once it goes into the pie, we're going to be baking it and it's also going to soften up. So once the onion goes in, I'm just going to add my final salt to just balance this whole thing up. I didn't need to use any Maggi, anything, no. These days, you have to be very careful with the monosodium we use and then the cubes we use, the bouillon cubes we use. So you can just do this simple tasting stuff and it's going to get good result. So for the protein part, yes, you're not going to do vegetable pie. We're going to do a protein pie. So we're going to have the minced meat, which is going into the pan. I added in just a bit of coconut oil to help me kind of fry it up properly. Then I'm also going to go in with my spices. So I'm using salt first and foremost. Then I'm adding in the garlic dip, or you can use garlic powder. I'm using ginger. I'm using sweet chili It's very much deliberate to give it that kind of peppery kick in there, and then to balance the whole thing. And I'm just going to fry this up. You can also decide to chop in a little bit of onion in or garlic in. That also goes in perfectly well. But we already have the garlic dip in there, which is going to do awesome. This is going to be on fire till you realize that it is cooked. Like it's going to shrink, it's going to form into like pellets like that, and you know that it's good to go. So once it's done, I'm just going to pour it into the vegetable mix. Like I said, I don't want to overly cook all the vegetables. I don't want to be overly cooking the meat and stuff. Then I'm going to add in just a bit of tuna flakes, and I don't need all that oil in there. Don't forget, we already have margarine and a lot of butter and fat in our pie crust. You don't need so much oil in there as well too. It's going to get soggy even on the dough when you are making it. So I'm just going to pour the oil out, and then the main bit of it goes into the into the mixture for the inner filling. Now this looks crunchy, this looks tasty, this is more yummy, this is more like rewarding. Sometimes you open pies and there's virtually air pie, or we call it like that, air pie. But you don't want to give air pie to your guests when they come to your house. So that is very much important. I place flour on the surface to help me roll it out so that it doesn't stick to the surface. Because when it sticks to the surface too, it gives you a lot of trouble as well. And I sprinkle just a little bit of flour on top as well. And then I just rolled it all out. Yes. So this gives you good space to be able to actually roll it. If you have a good surface or a big surface, it actually helps you when you're doing big batches like this, because this was pie for 60 minimum. So I think I got more than 60, about 70 or so. But the minimum count was supposed to be 60. And so you need to get a good big surface. That helps you save time. If not, you have to be doing it small, which can also take you more time. The disadvantage with doing such a big batch also is that if you have a big space and you're rolling it out, your arms can hurt a bit because it's a lot of like exercise, but it's good exercise for your arm fat. Yes, so I'm just going to be doing this, and you realize that as I'm rolling it out, I'm patching up or using my hands to close up the places that are opening up. Is very much important, and I'm adding fresh ones to the sides so that I can increase it and then continue rolling. Once this is done rolling, I'm now going to cut my circle, and I'm using the pie maker or the pie cutter. That makes it very much easy as well. Then once you're done, you want to pick out the inner part of it so that you can get your circles whole. Don't forget that the crust we've taken out, we're still going to use. So there's two ways. You can put it into your pie maker and just put your filling into it. Fill it generously, please. Be generous with your filling. Don't be just with your filling. People want to see things when they open and eat it up. Then you take the excess crust out of it, and this gives you beautiful kind of appearance. Just that sometimes if you fill it too much and it goes to the side, it becomes a bit kind of funny as well. So if you have this is easy to do, and if you're doing a small batch, of course this is easy to do. But if you're doing a big batch, this can slow you down at a point. So we're going to do the other one without this so that we can actually go with a bit of speed in there. So you realize that even with this, it looks colorful, it looks good, it looks great, and it tastes better because of everything that is going in. But I'm going to, before I close this up, I'm going to put water over it. The water is going to help the mouth close properly, because if you're not going to use the presser or the pie maker, it becomes a bit hard to close it, and the water is going to help you do that. So I'm just removing the edges, the ones that were at the edges also there. Then I'm putting the filling right in the center of it. Then you fold it over it to just create a semicircle. If it's opening or breaking, you just have to use your hand to just close it up. You realize how soft this is, that even as I'm doing, it's technically trying to break. That tells you that you're going to get very kind of flaky kind of pie. If your pie is already tough, then you know that you're going to get very hard, stubborn academic pies. So this is the most important thing. Flip it over. When you're flipping, sometimes look at where it is weaker or where it will be easy for you to flip. That's the most important thing. You don't need to just go the same route. Some of them you can flip it the other way around, wherever you can get that kind of access. And you realize that when I was flipping, I was trying to pull it over the filling and keep the filling at the center. Afterwards, I just used a fork to close the ends, which kind of helps close it very well. Then at this point, I'm just going to preheat the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for about 10-15 minutes. 20 minutes is actually the best. But this day, I think I just used 15 minutes. And once that is in, I just place a parchment sheet on my tray. Then I place the pie onto it. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to make air pockets in it so that the inside can bake well as well. So the parchment sheet is just supposed to help it come out of the tray easily. It's not mandatory. You can do without it. Now to give it shine, I'm using whole milk and egg. Yes. So this is white egg. There's no egg yolk in there. This gives you very colorful coating on it. You know, people like the nice brown crusty stuff on it. So the egg wash with milk always that's a good trick for you. Then they go into the oven. But once they are in the oven, you'd have to be monitoring it, you'd have to be rotating it. Like I said, the size of the pie is not going to go waste. What I like to do is I like to spread new one, then I put the old pie onto it. And like I said, the flour on the surface was to help me roll it out. And you can do it without it as well. Just that that becomes a bit kind of hard at times when you're rolling. It's not as easy as when the flour is on it. Now I placed the one that was already like the first batch, the remaining from it into it in the middle piece so that it doesn't get overly worked out. Yes, because no matter what, the middle pieces will be done. And like I said, once the pie is in the oven, you'd have to be rotating it. So about every pie should take you about 20 minutes to bake or 25 minutes to bake. So what you can do is that every 10 minutes, just go in and rotate it. So you get that good color at the top and at the base as well. Then you can be rolling out the next ones and then filling them up and then repeating the whole process as well. Once it's done, you're going to see the top well done and the base is also going to be brown. Then you know that your pie is actually well done. Yes, so you realize that this is looking so good. This is looking well. If the base is not well down, I just take it down, just let it continue cooking. And then as it is finishing, I'm taking some out. Then I'm also introducing new ones into it. And once you like, you can also keep a pattern in there. So you realize I keep moving it down, then I take it from the base. So it starts from the top, it goes middle, it goes down, then I take it out. You can keep that sort of pattern to help you get very consistent pies all through. Now, some will look good, some will look funny, some will be well done, some will not be well done. But if you keep that pattern, you get very consistent kind of pies. And this is very easy to do. This is healthy. This is also like easy to do. This gives you good results. And you can see the different types. If you don't coat it, you're going to get it raw like that. If you don't pack it up top, it's going to be puffy on the top. But if you do both ways, like I taught you here, you're going to get very rich kind of pie. The inside is going to be like worth it. The crust is going to be good and soft and flaky, and you're going to get good color on outside and on the inside as well. So do try this festive season for all your special guests, and don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share this to others as well to have a very great festive season as well. So I see you in the next good video. Do live life to the fullest. Be joyous, be merry. Lots of love for my team and I.